Joe Walsh writes, I love the show. I heard you talking about Robert Downey Jr. possibly being done with playing Tony Stark Iron Man, either after Iron Man 3 or Avengers 2. But two replacements come to mind, either Lee Pace or Jensen Ackles.
I don't look. First of all, I love Jensen Ackles because I've said 1,000 times my absolute number one favorite show on TV is Supernatural. But the problem with both of these guys is that you're not going to reboot Iron Man because it's a part of an ongoing continuity in the Marvel Universe. So you got to replace when the time comes to replace Robert Downey Jr. You got to replace him, not reboot him. And I think both of these guys are just simply too young. Four guys to me come to mind. All right, when I think about guys who could potentially replace Robert Downey Jr. Number one is Nathan Fillion. I saw Downey Jr. and Nathan Fillion do like a thing together once, and I remember once thinking Fillion would be a great Iron Man, and I really think he would. Number two would be Luke Evans. Look, unfortunately, Luke has been in some pretty rough movies, including like The Three Musketeers and The Raven and things like that. But he is a great actor. I think he could bring that charm and charisma. Third would be John Hamm. A lot of people thought about John Hamm as Superman, but I always thought he was a little bit too old. But I think he could pull off Iron Man, and the current Tony Stark that Robert Downey Jr. has created for us could do it great. But my number one guy who could play Tony Stark would be, speaking of Supernatural, Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Now, Jeffrey Dean Morgan played the comedian in Watchmen. He was also in that highly underrated movie, The Losers, that he was also happened to be in, that he worked with Captain America, Christopher Evans is. And now, of course, he was the dad of the Winchesters in Supernatural. I think this guy would be awesome. Now, I brought him up to a friend of mine. He said, he's kind of old to play Iron Man. He's actually younger than Robert Downey Jr. I think he would be perfect for it. When the time comes that Robert Downey Jr. leaves, which hopefully will not be before Avengers 2. I don't think it'll be till well after Avengers 2, but when the time comes, Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Tony Stark. Schnepp, what are your thoughts?
You know, I figured out, I thought about this for a while. I know who can replace Robert Downey Jr. No one. No one can replace Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. No one. So kill him if he's like, yo, I'm done. I want to do some other Sherlock Holmes. I want to jump around. I want to flip out, be in comedies. I'm done with the Iron Man stuff. Then kill him. And then just run this current Marvel universe until it's over. You already have Iron Man 2. You've got Don Cheadle playing
War Machine.
War Machine, thank you. I mean, there's other Iron Men that can come in to wear the armor, but no one can play Tony Stark other than Robert Downey Jr. unless you do a reboot on everybody. So that's how I personally feel about it. Keep him, like I said last episode, give him the $700 million that he needs to build a second moon in outer space that has his face on it, and let him play Iron Man. Because we could always blow up that second moon after he's dead.
Look, I gotta follow up though. I've got this thing. I've had this philosophy that everybody is replaceable. There's nobody who is untouchable. And I recoiled to this notion that only this guy can direct these movies. Only this guy can star in this role. But we just got to remember, Robert Downey Jr. is the only guy we've seen as Iron Man. He's defined how we think of Iron Man. But remember, if somebody else had played Iron Man first and we loved him, we'd be saying, no, don't get that other guy, Robert Downey Jr., and replace him because nobody can play Iron Man the way this guy can. When all along, Robert Downey Jr. would have been a great Iron Man. So, yeah, I kind of recoil at this idea that he's the only one who could do it. Look, would any of the guys I listed do as well as Robert Downey Jr.? Probably not. But I think they could be really good and allow the Marvel Universe to continue and go on.
John, I totally agree with you that, everybody's replaceable, that everybody, that's how it is. Like, look how many James Bonds there's been. You always have to keep moving forward. There's been like 7 Batmen from the beginning, like if you count the serials and, Adam West and all that.
And
but no one can replace Robert Downey Jr. No one. So it's like, that's the only person I'm like, kill him in this modern incarnation and then recast it and reboot it. Of course, he'll eventually be recast, but just don't replace him in the middle of everything that's going on right now in phase 2 and phase 3. Like, let these play out. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. I don't think anybody wants to replace him. I'm just saying if he decides to hang it up. Hang it up.
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC movie talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.